And welcome back to Reliant Stadium in Houston, where the Texans enjoy a halftime lead. The rushing offense has been impressive today with 73 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Football like you've never heard it, presented to you by Sonos, is welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf. Interesting football game to say the very least. 17-7 lead for the Houston Texans. New England gets the ball first here in the second half, and something to keep in mind, they're 2-9, the Texans are, and they also have the #1 defense in the league. That's what New England's looking at here in the second half.
And I'm sure Bill Belichick would like to see the passing game be a little sharper, but I bet you it starts with the fact that he's uncomfortable, as well he should be. How many times Tom Brady's been on the ground? Tom's been under duress in this game. The front four of the Texans is getting some pretty good pressure, and when Wade Phillips has blitzed, it's been sparingly, when he's done it, but it's been very effective.
It's going to be interesting to see, too, and important, I would think, for the Texans to make a stand early here and then establish who's who here in the second half.
I mean, let's face it, this is a game where New England is supposed to win and Houston is supposed to lose. And you know what? It doesn't always go according to form.
This will be Josh Boyce at the goal line. And out across the 20 to about the 21 or the 22-yard line. Brought down by Elbert Mack as we look at some halftime numbers. And look at the plays in the opponent's territory.
Well, and look at the average drive start. The Texans have enjoyed great field position for that first half. Each team with a turnover, but again, the Patriots just can't get into this habit of just assuming that they're going to mount this great second half comeback.
So Brady spreads the field to start the second half from his own 22-yard line. With time, crossing pattern, that is Amendola. And Amendola with a first down out to about the 38-yard line.
And Danny Amendola has not been very involved in this game. That's just his second reception. And he is a more than capable receiver. And he has got to do more than just have a pair of receptions at this stage of the ballgame. Tom Brady looks to him way too much to have that little production.
This is Vereen. And Vereen going to lose yardage on the play. The 37-yard line, Antonio Smith there to make the initial hit.
And Antonio Smith is one of those guys that just, he is a good, solid football player and has been for 9 years in this league. And he's just, J.J. Watt just absorbs so much of the spotlight, and when he's healthy, so does Brian Cushing. But Antonio Smith is just, he is a heck of a football player. Really good.
Loss of 1 on the play makes it 2nd and 11. Straight drop for Brady. He's got a man open. It's Gronkowski. Gronkowski inside the 25, inside the 20, still on his feet, and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Never did go to the ground. They never did get Rob Gronkowski. They got him out of bounds, but they never got him to the ground. And again, this is what the Gronk does best. Runs a seam pattern straight down the field. Darryl Sharpton, the linebacker, unable to keep up. Nothing fancy here. Straight down the field goes Gronkowski. And look at the Texans try to get him to the ground. It's not going to happen.
What a difference he makes in this New England lineup. First down from the 13. Brady under pressure, throws. That's complete. Inside the 5, looking for the end zone is Vereen. And he is out of bounds inside the 1.
Oh, Vereen thought he got in. He really thought that he was able to tightrope that sideline.
Vereen is looking for his first touchdown of the season.
Again, Tom Brady does a good job of delivering a strike.
Straight ahead. Devlin, second effort, third effort. Touchdown! awesome.
That's old-fashioned football right there, folks. And at no time did he ever release that death grip on the football. He bounces off. One hand gets stripped. It goes right back on it. They're trying to strip it again. Back on it. That's old-fashioned football. Leg drive and ball security. Pad level. You name it. James Devlin did it all. Would you call that a statement drive?
I'm impressed. 12:41 to play. Third quarter. 5 plays, 78 yards in just over 2 minutes. Capped by a James Devlin bulldozer touchdown. James Devlin didn't have a carry all season coming into this game. He has 2 today, including the 1-yard run for his first career touchdown, and that's one of the more impressive runs of the season. 17-14 Houston. Sean Martin will not run this one out of the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line, and Case Keenum goes back to work.
Well, remember, this is just his 6th start. He had a very productive first half. That long pass to Andre Johnson. That one goes to Martin, and again, he found him wide open. And this is a simple flip to the screen. Dennis Johnson grinds out some yardage. Case Keenum, though, hasn't thrown a touchdown pass, and he does have 1 interception.
And a much more productive offense today. Ben Tate in the backfield as they start from the 20-yard line. Keenum on the run, throws it nowhere.
And now they're going to have a discussion. Was he outside the tackle box when he threw that ball away? And he was. And he was. But that's, when you see the officials discussing that, that's exactly what they're trying to determine, whether or not he was outside of the pocket, outside that tackle box.
It's a good thing for Case Keenum, too, because I believe you were the nearest receiver, Dave.
Well, that's a smart play.
2nd and 10.
He held on to the ball too long a couple times in the first half.
Tate to about the 28. Brandon Spikes with the stop.
Greg, you like to see a quarterback that can learn, and Keenum that time looked like he learned a little something, because he did. You know, his 1 interception in the first half was because he held on to the ball too long. And there was another situation where he took a sack where he might have been able to run or at least throw it away. And I'm sure that's one of the things that Gary Kubiak talked to him about at halftime.
So the line of scrimmage is the 29. It gives them a 3rd and 1 with Tate in the backfield once again. And we get a timeout call.
Timeout, New England, first team timeout.
So the Patriots use a timeout. Back in Houston, here's a big 3rd and 1 for the Texans. And they'll give it to Tate, and Tate is not going to get the first down. Joe Villano leading the charge from the defensive line, which didn't give much at all.
Well, even though Houston goes back into a spread formation with Keenum back in the shotgun, the pistol formation, it's a running play all the way, and New England plays it accordingly. They stacked the line of scrimmage, and a good look there at Joe Villano and Chris Jones, the 2 rookies, both winning their battles up front. They played run all the way, and they defeated it easily.
So Julian Edelman is back and has a chance to return this one from his own 16-yard line. Across the 25 and close to the 30-yard line before he is stopped. I want to remind you, coming up next, Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos, Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs for the top spot in the AFC West, or the Bengals and the San Diego Chargers. Check your local listings. And we just saw Julian Edelman returning that one as you take a look at the numbers on Denver and Kansas City.
How loud do you think it's going to be at Arrowhead? That is one of the...
It always is, isn't it?
One of the great, well, and today's going to be extra special with Peyton and company coming to town. That is going to be... That's as close to a college environment as you will find anywhere in the NFL. That might as well be Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Auburn. This is Vereen.
to just about the 30-yard line. I was mentioning Julian Edelman. He kind of surprised us last night when you asked him how fast he's ever run the 40.
Yeah, well, I just asked him what's the best he's done, and he said, well, I'm a mid 4.4 guy, which is really good speed. That's quite fast, and he seemed to be a little miffed that I wasn't there to watch him run it when he was at Kent State.
I mean, that's approaching Roadrunner status, you know?
Second and 7. You know, when you're his size, you better be a little feisty.
Brady over the middle. There is Edelman. And Edelman with a first down at about the 39-yard line. And Edelman kind of said it, man. It's like, well, you know, doesn't everybody?
Well, and, you know, Julian Edelman is just, some guys are just football players. And that's Julian Edelman. He, you know, he's a quarterback in college, and what does he do when he gets in? He just does whatever he can do to make the team.
Joe Mays getting looked at. He'll walk off the field as we take a break. Linebacker Joe Mays has been replaced by the ex-New England Patriot Jeff Tarpinian at linebacker. First down for the Patriots. Brady receiving. Got his man juggled and caught by Amendola. And that's another first down.
Again, the Patriots show run, 2 tight end formation. Brady under center. Just the quick little out and then in slant by Amendola, who juggles the ball twice and is able to get it under control before he takes the hit. Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, had a couple years stint in Denver. Canton, Ohio native, and one of the bright offensive minds in football.
You see there 6 first downs in this quarter now for New England to none for Houston. Brady has a man open. It is caught by Edelman and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
How's that for a touch pass by number 12? We saw him try to do a touch pass in the first half, and it ended up being intercepted. He floats that baby right in over the top of Kareem Jackson. That was a perfect throw from number 12.
A little toe drag by Edelman to make sure he gets the second foot down, and it's first down for New England just inside the 20-yard line. They're looking for the lead. Brady, incomplete over the middle. Edelman couldn't handle it. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That ball looked like it was thrown behind Julian Edelman. I mean, he's coming on a full crossing pattern. You've got to lead that receiver. You got to get it out in front of him. That was just a little hard for Edelman to handle. That would have been a routine completion if it had been out in front of him.
That's where that exceptional speed will hurt you, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, Brady was counting on a 4-7, sure, and he got 4-4.
2nd and 10.
His first incomplete pass of this half.
Quick pass to Edelman, near side. Edelman, 15, 10, diving, and looks like he'll have enough for a first down.
Well, you can see when you watch Julian Edelman return punts that he's got fine open field skills when it comes to making somebody miss, and Kareem Jackson just not able to come up with the tackle. Julian Edelman is just, he's not Barry Sanders, but he is very hard to get onto the ground just one-on-one. And you can see right there, Kareem Jackson came up with basically nothing but air.
So it's a 1st and goal for the Patriots at the 9. Brady throwing 5-yard line, and Vereen can walk in for the touchdown.
Well, you see him get a hug from Gronk. That's because Gronk draws all the coverage in the end zone. Gronk takes most of the Texans' defense with him. They're back there all over Gronk and just completely ignore Shane Vereen. And again, that's just, that's a strong assist to Gronkowski. He's got a couple guys trailing him back there, and somebody blew their assignment on Vereen.
Shane Vereen scores his first touchdown of the season. Comes on a 9-yard pass from Tom Brady, and it's a 21-17 New England lead. 8:06 to play here in the third quarter, and Patriots have come out of the locker room and taken control of this game. 7 plays, 73 yards. And Shane Vereen scoring on the 9-yard touchdown pass from Tom Brady. Sean Martin is deep. And Martin will get a chance to return this one from the yard deep in the end zone. And doesn't get back to the 20. He's brought down at the 19.
Well, Tom Brady, his day, this is kind of emblematic of the first half. Underthrew that ball. Jonathan Joseph with the interception. He gets hit pretty hard. Here in the second half, he finds Gronk down the seam. That sets up Devlin's touchdown. And then, of course, this last one to a wide open Shane Vereen. And take a look at how close Antonio Smith came to getting a hand on that touchdown pass to Vereen. Sometimes success is measured razor thin.
So Case Keenum from the shotgun has time and throws and completes it. Andre Johnson, and Johnson out across the 45 to the 48-yard line.
Well, talk about throwing the football into a tight window. Here comes Andre Johnson, and Keenum delivers a strike. And again, take a look at this thing get in there. That was hardly bad coverage on the part of the Patriots. Duron Harmon, the rookie, really in there pretty good on Andre Johnson.
They'll make the line of scrimmage the 47. Dan, you and I were saying during the half, there's a lot to like about Case Keenum. Keenum throwing sideline, and that is complete on the far side. Johnson once again, and he's out of bounds. About 2 yards short of a first down.
And you just mentioned, Greg, about there's a lot to like about Keenum showing the arm strength to make that out pattern throw. That he whistled that thing out there. And again, it's his ability to take care of the football. You know, he's got 3 interceptions. We saw the one in the first half, but that was because he held the ball too long, got hit, and it fluttered.
2nd and 1. Tate has the first down. Brought down by Brandon Spikes and Duron Harmon.
You know, Ben Tate is a guy you just have to admire. He has 4 cracked ribs. He did it in the Kansas City game. And, you know, he's having to carry the load because Arian Foster had back surgery, and he's gone for the rest of the year. And then we saw Tate turn his ankle in the first half, get it retaped, and hobble back out there. Tough guy.
Keenum with time, over the middle. That's complete to the 25-yard line. Garrett Graham pulls it in, and that's another first down for Houston.
Well, Garrett Graham here, nothing complicated about this. Again, he's settling right into that void. And how accurate is that throw from Keenum? And again, Case Keenum having a pretty good sequence here this drive as he's throwing one accurate ball after the other.
Keenum 3 out of 3 on this drive. First down now from the 25, and this is Tate. And Tate with a hole on the left side, inside the 20 to the 18.
Well, this is a pretty good mix of pass and run here by the Texans on this drive. Everybody knows that when Vince Wilfork was lost, Tommy Kelly was lost, Gerard Mayo was lost, that a lot of talent was being subtracted from this New England defense. And they've been vulnerable to the running game. Thus, they're ranking 31st in the NFL out of 32 teams.
Keenan now the 2nd and 3, and this is Tate once again trying the left side and pulls his way close to the 15-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of a first down. Chris Jones, Chandler Jones there to make the stop.
Well, they're running to the left side of the Texans offensive line, and that's their Pro Bowl side. Dwayne Brown, Wade Smith, Chris Myers, their center. They've all been to the Pro Bowls. They've all been there repeatedly. And see if New England can muscle it up here.
3rd and 1. Keenum going to keep it for the first down.
Well, that's hardly throwing Ben Roethlisberger at you on a quarterback sneak. Case Keenum, one of the smaller quarterbacks in the National Football League, and he's still found enough of a surge behind that O-line to pick up a first down.
So now from the 14 as the Texans look to regain the lead. Tate, big hole on the right side to the 5, inside the 5 to the 4.
New England just sitting in a classic 3-4 defense. An odd look, a nose tackle, 2 defensive ends, and there's a void there on the right side. And that is just really poorly played by the New England Patriots. They lost gap control, not even close. If you're going to play that 3-4, your linebackers have got to crash the hole. Everyone has a gap responsibility, and that was a complete failure.
2nd and 1. Keegan's going to give it to Tate, and Tate doesn't look like he got the first down.
Well, in that time you see New England wasn't going to be reactionary. They were going to make something happen. Brandon Spikes, Ninkovich, they all attack the line of scrimmage with a run blitz. Look at them. Take a look at that. You know, that's exactly that. They aren't going to sit back and wait for this Texan running game to come at them. They've got to be proactive and attack the line of scrimmage. Now, does that leave you open to play action? You better believe it.
3rd and 1.
Show pass the whole way, empty backfield. And the Houston Texans showing a little grit.
Case Keenum with his first rushing touchdown. The extra point is good. And the Texans answer the way you're supposed to, especially at home. 24-21 Houston. The numbers on the Houston scoring drive. The Texans come into this game with just 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. They have run for 3 touchdowns today against New England.
Well, that was just really a well-designed play. Depended on the wide receivers getting it done at the point of attack. And everybody knows Case Keenum can run.
In the end zone, Josh Boyce going to run it out. Boyce shakes the tackler at the 15 and makes it back just short of the 20-yard line. 2:03 to play in the 3rd quarter. Brady down 3. Steve, playoff picture. Everybody in the world in the hunt in the AFC.
Well, Denver and Kansas City, one of them is going to end up with a 3rd loss today. If New England can come out of here with a win, they've got 3 losses. And if that one team with a 3rd loss happens to be Denver, keep in mind New England owns the tiebreaker over Denver. They don't play Kansas City this year in the regular season.
Let's go back to that touchdown.
Yeah, really a well-designed play because it counts on your wide receivers. Watch it. Your 2 wideouts here have to get blocks, in which they do seal it off to the inside, and then Dwayne Brown comes around.
So here's Brady and company from their own 19-yard line. Vereen with running room up the middle. Across the 30 to about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. That takes a little air out of the Houston crowd.
Well, and again, they hammer it in behind their 2 best offensive linemen. Logan Mankins, their all-pro left guard, and then Nate Solder at left tackle.
Joe Mays is back on the field. He was injured during that last defensive series. Brady stepping up. That's complete. And that is to James Devlin out of the backfield. And he'll have enough for a first down at the 45.
Well, Devlin ended up running his pattern, and he ends up really close to Gronk. And the reason for that is the Texans are really trying to disrupt Rob Gronkowski leaving the line of scrimmage. Wade Phillips telling us that we're going to try to hit Gronk because he's not a great restart guy. He's not a guy that can start over as quickly as some other people.
Of course, it's no fun hitting Gronk either, is it?
No, it's no fun hitting him, but it's also no fun chasing him down the seam either.
On first down, this is LeGarrette Blount, and Blount with running room on the right side, tripped up short of midfield by DJ Swearinger.
Well, that time Logan Mankins comes from left guard and traps on the other side, and right now it's New England mounting a running attack.
Gronkowski in motion. And Brady throwing. Gronkowski is wide open to the 35-yard line. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. New set of downs when they turn around and go in the other direction. That's the end of 3. 24-21. Houston, we're back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Along with our producer, Mark Wolf, and our director, Suzanne Smith, and our terrific CBS Sports crew here in Houston, Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, we start the fourth quarter. Houston with the lead. The Patriots at the Houston 35. Brady for Bolden out of the backfield. 25, 20, and knocked out of bounds on the near side by Jonathan Joseph.
Well, Wade Phillips tries to make something happen, and he comes with an all-out blitz, and Tom Brady is all over it. Bolden realizes it, makes himself a target. Jonathan Joseph didn't appreciate the big hit he took from Brandon Bolden. That's just an excellent read, blitz adjustment. Made it look easy.
Marine net at the 15 and pushed back. It's Joe Mays making the stop.
You know, that last look, Greg, was just a classic look at the risk a defensive coordinator takes when you all-out blitz a premier quarterback. Because let's face it, Tom Brady has been there, done that. And if his teammates cooperate and recognize it along with him, you got a chance of getting gashed defensively.
Brady on 2nd and 8. Gonna go for the end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for Vereen and covered by Darryl Sharpton.
Well, Tom's going to try to go back shoulder to Vereen. I think this football goes right through his hands. Tom Brady delivers a perfect throw. And while Sharpton was all over him, right there, Vereen had a chance to make that catch. It goes right through his hands.
Fourth quarter has not been kind to Houston. They've scored 47 fourth quarter points all year long. New England's had 48 in their last 3 games. 3rd and 8. And Brady wants a timeout.
Well, the play clock was down to 1. He had no choice.
That leaves the Patriots with 1 timeout remaining in this half. 13:45 to play in regulation. The crowd up for it on 3rd and 8. Brady under pressure, throwing over the middle and inside the 10-yard line, complete to Edelman. It'll be 1st and goal.
Something that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady do so well. This little option route, Edelman back to the inside, but it's the accuracy that both of those guys have when it comes to the short and intermediate range passes. That ball was just exactly where it needed to be.
They'll keep it on the ground for LeGarrette Blount, and Blount to the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, New England scores. The Texans respond with a scoring drive of their own, and New England comes right back with another scoring drive. Nate Solder, a tremendous block at the point of attack. Same thing with James Devlin, the fullback, and then the off guard Dan Conley comes around. Oh man, that was just textbook. That was just one A-plus block after another.
We've seen those notes that Bill Belichick takes on the sidelines during the first half, and then his team comes out and scores 3 touchdowns in 3 drives.
They obviously pay attention at halftime.
The extra point is good. 13:09 to play here in the fourth quarter. Back come the Patriots. They lead 28-24. Houston went up 24-21. Back came the Patriots. 9-play, 81-yard drive. Third lead change of this game now has New England on top 28-24. And Keyshawn Martin will not get a chance to return this one. This one floats out of the end zone.
Well, Bill Belichick never stops working on a sideline. I know every head coach has a different demeanor. Bill is always making notes, going over the pictures from above, working there with Matt Patricia. I'm not sure what he's writing down, but he comes back to it. And I'm telling you, I don't know how many gigabytes his processor has, but it's more than most, and it never stops humming all game long.
So now Case Keenum completely lost his man on the near sideline.
Well, you can get this. Kyle Arrington is in coverage number 25, and he loses the football. Completely loses the football, and if that's not bad enough, then he loses Hopkins. That was so grossly misplayed by Kyle Arrington on both levels. He lost the ball and the receiver.
66-yard play takes them to the 14 of the Patriots. Tate, left side to the 10.
Take a look at it. Here we are down at the bottom. Here's Arrington, and just watch him in his coverage. It's man all the way. He knows he has no safety, but for some reason right there, what was that stutter step and giving up on it almost in the sense? He didn't give up in terms of lack of effort, but he didn't know where he was. Spatially, he was completely disoriented. Lost both the football and the receiver. Bad thing for a corner to do when he's all by himself.
2nd and 6. Tate, left side, 5, touchdown, back on top, the Houston Texans.
Boy, again, let's get in behind Dwayne Brown and Wade Smith. And the inexperience on this defensive line of the Patriots is starting to show. Chris Jones and Joe Volano are not able to scrape into the hole.
And I think Ben Tate looked back at Arian Foster and then did one of his little bows in the end zone.
Again, the defensive line of the Patriots on that play were just erased.
Ben Tate to the end zone. And that'll send Coach Bill Belichick back to the note-taking process. We're talking about answering the score of an opposition. How about 3 plays, 80 yards in just a minute and 34?
Well, this is obviously an all-Auburn weekend.
Josh Boyce from the 2 to the 20. And brought down short of the 25-yard line. Gives us an opportunity to remind you Friday here on CBS, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Robin Thicke perform live when LL Cool J hosts the Grammy nominations concert Friday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. Well, I don't know what the fans expected when they came here today, but it's a lot more than what they thought they were going to get.
Well, they're being entertained, that's for sure.
So are we. First down.
This Houston defense hasn't stopped Brady and this offense yet this half.
You've had 4 lead changes. Brady throwing, and that's complete across the 30 to the 32. Danny Amendola.
You know, Greg, it is the 1st of December, is it not? And football changes in December. I think everyone's focus is a little ratcheted. It's ratcheted higher. especially if you're on a team that is in a playoff hunt. And if you're like Houston, where you realize you aren't going to be in the playoffs, there's a chance at some redemption, at running somebody else off the tracks and taking a little pride in doing so.
Spoiler alert. 2nd and 3. That pass is complete to Edelman, and Edelman for first down to the 42.
Take a look at that. Since 2001, 45-6. It almost doesn't seem possible. And I attribute that to the fact that Bill Belichick builds that roster all the way to the 53rd guy, because before the end of the year, and a lot of times late in the season, that 53rd guy is having to contribute.
This is LeGarrette Blount. And Blount brought to a stop at about the 44. J.J. Watt right in the middle of it, as he usually is.
How many fumbles have we had by the Patriot running backs today? None. And that is, I think, message. We'll see how it plays out in the last 9 minutes and 40 seconds, but all they have to do is take a look at Mr. Ridley in street clothes to realize they are all on a short leash.
This is Vereen, and Vereen with running room. Into New England territory, into Houston territory, and brought down at the Texans 44.
And there's Stephen Ridley holding football.
Holding the football.
Yep, which he has been doing at least this entire second half. And
he may well have gotten off the bus with that.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I guarantee you there's 31 teams in the NFL hoping that Bill Belichick gets mad at him and releases him, because 31 teams have put a claim in for him. Stephen Ridley is a good running back if he can just hold on to the ball.
Brady throwing, and he's got his man inside the 35-yard line. Edelman once again for a first down to the 32.
Well, nifty ball handling by Tom Brady, and again he's not able to step into that at all. Tom's showing a little athletic ability. Look at Antonio Smith stretch out, trying to get Tom. That was a pretty acrobatic move there by Antonio Smith.
Brady, 15 out of 17 this half, throwing it again. And that one tipped at the line of scrimmage.
I think Watt got it. Did J.J. get a hand on that?
Second and 10.
He's got quite a skill. Takes some extraordinary eye-hand coordination to defend as many passes as he does at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 10. This is Vereen, and Vereen cut down for lost yardage in the backfield. And number 51 charging in, Darryl Sharpton.
And I think we have a safety coming in off the edge. I believe so. Swearinger comes in, and he goes low. And Swearinger, and then Sharpton comes in high. But that was a great call there by Wade Phillips, sending his safety off the corner.
3rd and 13. Brady to Gronkowski, incomplete.
Wow, and this would be a long field goal for Gostkowski. This would be about 52, 53 yards, I think. Now, no surprise here that the Texans are ready with bracket coverage on Gronkowski, and coming in from behind, Eddie Pleasant, the safety, timed his arrival perfectly. Helmet and ball arrived simultaneously.
Gostkowski missed from 55 earlier today. This will be 53. on its way. And good. 22 in a row for Gostkowski, the longest active NFL streak in the fourth quarter or overtime. Back in Houston, 31 apiece. Texans haven't scored this many since opening day at San Diego when they beat the Chargers 31-28. .7:16 to play in the fourth. Sean Martin will not throw this one out of the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Gives us an opportunity to remind you, Thursday on CBS, the Victoria's Secret models reveal all the Robin Williams in a sexy new crazy ones. Thursday at 9/8 Central, only CBS.
Well, young Mr. Keenum has a chance to really make a statement here. He's had a strong performance in this game so far. He's got the one interception. He does not have a touchdown pass. But again, that interception was because he was hit. And he was throwing.
Keenum on the move. Looking, throwing. Oh, what a throw. Back across his body, but it's incomplete. Garrett Graham.
It's a risky throw. Keenum's looking at him all the way. It's hard to get a lot on that. Yeah, and no question about it. In the act of finishing the process, as Graham hit the ground, the ball came loose, and he lost possession of it. And the official saw it. Good call. No catch.
Hey, watch the override. Right.
Keenum with time over the middle, and this one out to the 35-yard line. Andre Johnson in it. Incomplete.
Again, let's look at this throw. Andre Johnson has it, and wow. I mean, he's wide open. There goes Hopkins down the field, but that safety came off. But that ball should have been caught by Andre Johnson. Quite frankly, the one before by Graham should have been caught. Yeah. Case Keenum is doing his part, and on back-to-back plays has not gotten any help at all from his receivers.
Got a big over here, 91. 91. Got a big over here, 91.
Here they come after Keenum. Keenum on the run, and he had to throw it away.
Oh, he might get called from. I didn't see a receiver anywhere near that. Now, Case Keenum is just backpedaling right up the A-gap. Here they come. Chandler Jones, Ninkovich are both there. And Case Keenum alertly got rid of that. To whom he was trying, I have no idea.
Edelman. Fair catch call for.
Oh, he was interfered with.
Absolutely interfered. Well, I don't see a penalty marker down.
Wow.
That was Josh Victorian, the special teams. Wow.
Well, he didn't touch him. At first, do they lock legs?
Yeah, they did.
Wow, that was really close. If may have just ticked a toe or something, but
right there.
Yeah, right there. Okay, their knees hit. There you go. You have got to give that guy some space.
He gave him no space. First down. The Patriots have scored on all four of their second half drives. Brady, quick drop, quick throw to the outside, and that's Amendola.
How many times do the Patriots start a series with that short out pattern like that? It's almost like it lets Tom warm up with that throw, where he just drives it to the outside. They pick up 4, 5, 6 yards. It's such a high completion percentage play, but it's a favorite of Josh McDaniels.
On 2nd and 3, Shane Vereen to the 40.
Well, take a look at most games decided by a touchdown or less. The Patriots 8 times this year, and to no one's surprise, they've won 5 of the 8. Conversely, Houston has been in 8 of those, and they've won only a pair.
This is a big play for this Patriots offense and Houston defense.
My
Third and 3.
My guess is that record is a direct relationship to the quality of play they get at the quarterback position.
Brady, quick pass over the middle, and that's caught by Gronkowski. Gronkowski inside the 45, first down. That was inches away from being an incompletion.
And Gronk is limping. Again, what a target coming across the middle. And Rob Gronkowski got up, and he was limping. Right there. Oh, look at his right ankle get caught underneath Eddie Pleasant.
Gronkowski on the sideline. First down now at the 43.
Oh, all-out blitz up the middle by Houston.
Blunt nowhere to go. Earl Mitchell saw to that.
Here he comes right up the middle trying to time this off. And again, you know, Conley was able to get a shoulder on him, but that kept Conley from getting where he was supposed to be. And that was a good all sellout blitz and all everyone on board type blitz from Wade Phillips.
Meanwhile, New England has chalked up 442 total yards against this #1 defense in the NFL today. And we got a penalty marker.
Thank you. Timeout. Houston, first team timeout. A 30-second timeout.
Pete Morelli disregarding the fact there are 2 penalty flags on the field. I guess the timeout was called prior to the flags being thrown.
So with 4:05 to play and a 31-31 tie, Houston uses a timeout. Hey, next Saturday, CBS Sports, your championship destination. First, the SEC championship on CBS. Number 5, Missouri. Number 4, Auburn. And then things get wild out at the Mountain West Championship. Utah State taking on number 16, Fresno State. That's Saturday on CBS.
How about the finish of that Auburn-Alabama game last night?
None of them are.
Yesterday was a wild day in college football, and that was the exclamation point. How much sleep do you think Nick Saban got last night? Yeah, I think it's 0.
Second and 10.
Brady
With time, throwing, complete to Vereen. And Vereen to the 35, at 2 yards short of a first down. Clock continues to move, coming up on 3:50 to play. And Rob Gronkowski back on the field.
Yeah, they're back into the outer limits of Gronkowski's leg. Looking at probably about a 53-yarder from where they are right now. Somewhere between 52, 53. But with this kind of time, oh, would they love to get a first down and keep going.
Brady, incomplete, knocked down by Brandon Harris. Gronkowski, the intended receiver.
Well, no surprise that Tom would try to go to Gronk in this situation, and that was just perfectly read. And Brandon Harris, that's the way it's supposed to be done as a DB.
So here is Gronkowski, who missed from 55, hit from 53. And this is from 53 again. Yards out with 3:12 to play. New England takes the lead 34-31.
Well, Stephen Gostkowski is up into the net. That just didn't eke its way over the crossbar.
I think we're talking in the 60-yard vicinity.
Yep, that made it all the way up into the net, keeping it out of the stands.
So New England, 30.
To say it's no surprise that we watched Tom Brady drive his team into scoring range in this situation this late in the fourth quarter. Now, Case Keenum, who, for the fact that this is his sixth start in the NFL, practice squad player last year, the third quarterback, the first 6 games of this year, not even active, behind Matt Schaub and TJ Yates, and finds himself in this position.
Keyshawn Martin will not get a chance to run this one back. It'll come out to the 20-yard line as we look once again at the AFC playoff race. Denver, New England, Indy, and Cincy, division leaders. Denver and Kansas City due to kick it off in the not too distant future here on CBS. And then everybody on the planet chasing Baltimore. You know, even Case Keenum knew that Bill Belichick is known for here comes the blitz. Keenum on the move and throws and
Control. Did he have the football? Did he have the football with both feet on the ground? He most certainly did.
first down at the 30 now. To the 45.
This is what Bill Belichick was worried about, Case Keenum's ability to extend plays by moving around. And that he making it look pretty easy, but I am really impressed with his ability to deliver.
Number 900 for the great number 80 in the Houston Texans.
Congrats to really a world-class guy and football player.
Take nowhere to go except down at the 42. Brandon Spikes and Chandler Jones combined.
And that was a negative play, a loss of a couple of yards. And again, we talked.
Yards. 2:20 to play in the fourth. He's throwing this side of the field, incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins saying that he was held, and I wonder if he had a case.
Well, I think that's Logan Ryan, the rookie corner. Oh, he did grab some jersey.
Yes, he did.
You know, the Patriots have not been flagged for a penalty this entire game. Well, after the hole, he gets up there, and his hands meet the football at the same time that Hopkins did.
This side of the field and overthrown and picked off but out of bounds. Duron Harmon made the interception but out of bounds.
Yeah, I think he got maybe 1 foot in, but I don't believe he was even close to getting that second one in. And with a little over 2 minutes left in the game, yeah, even the one might not have been barely in. It was, if it was in, it was, but not even close to being able to get 2 down.
And now 4th and 13. And we get a timeout called by Houston. And Gary Kubiak looking for something that's going to work for 4th and long.
Well, now Houston, with only 1 timeout remaining, they have no choice but to go for this. I think Gary Kubiak knows that if he punts the ball away, gives it to Tom Brady, he's not going to see it again. So this is an all or nothing shot for the Texans.
Now, Case Keenum has found some holes in this Patriots secondary today.
And when has he done it? When he's been on the move. So I would not be the least bit surprised, nor would Bill Belichick, to see something here where Case Keenum is moving trying to break, contain, trying to get outside, and maybe find one of his receivers breaking loose. You got to admire the effort, regardless of how this works out for the Texans. These guys are getting paid to play too, and they've earned their paychecks today.
Keenum needs the 45 of the Patriots for a first down. Under pressure. Into the backfield.
Well, when the Patriots needed to collapse the pocket, they did it. Chris Jones, the first guy to break through. Case Keenum, nowhere to go.
See how well the New England Patriots have been forming with comebacks. And they've had to do that. This is LeGarrette Blount. Last week they were scoreless.
Well, Houston uses their last timeout. So now New England will be able to run a play and chew up 40 seconds on the play clock, run another play, chew up another 40 seconds on the play clock. It's
hold on. Carry the
really hurt themselves having to use that timeout that they used before they ran that fourth down play.
This is Blount.
And the Texans do not have the ability to stop it. But they will, if the Patriots don't go anywhere with this, they will get the ball back with a not so much time to do anything with it.
Devlin. Make it Blount, excuse me, LeGarrette Blount. And we're under a minute to play.
And we'll be looking at somewhere in the vicinity of 20-some seconds left on the clock for the Houston Texans.
A reminder, Denver, Kansas City still to come here on CBS. Let's check in with James Brown in New York, the NFL Today. JB?
As Greg said, the Broncos and Chiefs tied atop the AFC West standings. Manning, smarting from last week's loss to New England, looking to bounce back against Kansas City and Alex Smith. The Chiefs are trying to snap a two-game losing streak in a game with huge playoff implications. It's the rematch. That'll be coming up next right here on CBS. Back to Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf.
Thank you, JB. And it's our understanding Julius Thomas not going to play.
Going to be active. How productive he's going to be, tune in and find out. That is a grade A prime cut matchup right there.
Ryan Allen will try to put this one out of bounds deep or hang it up. Let's see. Inside the 5 and all.
Oh, let it go. Don't touch it. Let the clock keep burning.
And it is whistled down with 7 seconds.
An egg on my head. My God, that's the most pressure-packed thing I've done in a long time.
Did everything at the end but go E-I-E-I-O.
Well, Case, this is where legends are born.
From the 5, Patriots, about as deep as you can get. Over the middle, incomplete with 1 second.
Well, the New England Patriots once again fell behind, trailed at halftime, but played this entire game without a penalty. Played it without a running back fumbling the ball. And the Texans only had 2 penalties on the day.
And it comes down incomplete, and that will do it. The Houston Texans, valiant, but still lose their 10th. And Greg Gumbel saying so long. Coming up, the NFL Today update presented by Aflac and includes bonus coverage of Tennessee and Indianapolis. We'll take you there after this.